Welcome back, everybody. Good to have you here, Paul Traney with Shauna Lynn Panczyszyn, as you can see, as the title shows. And day 3.
Day 3. We survived.
Yes,
we did it.
We have survived. And we're super happy that you're here. Claire and Mr. Alam and Lindsay, Munir, everybody. Want to give you a warm welcome, so say something in chat would be great. Hello, Jeff. Good to have you here. So this is day 3. You can see some gorgeous illustration that she...
I love my little ornaments.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. So,
yeah.
Gorgeous.
I'd gone to the antique mall and then I was like super inspired because everyone had their Christmas stuff out. So, why not?
Very into it. So fantastic. Thanks. Again, day 3, we got 2 hours.
Yep.
You're all plugged in, ready to go. I like how this is... We mix it up from segment to segment. And I just glanced at your screen. I guess we'll kind of dive into it. It looks like you've done some stuff.
Yeah. So I finished up this because this was not digitized yesterday. It was still in the sketch stage. So looking at it now, I'm not 100% happy with the lettering, but I'm going to tackle that later if we have time. Because it could just be in, that it's in that awkward in-between stage where nothing's done. So I may like it when it's done.
Yeah.
Okay. But right now it just feels very heavy, and I think because there's still a lot of stuff to render out.
Okay.
But right now we're playing with color palettes. So what I ended up doing, we had this section of stuff yesterday, and I remember saying I really liked the jewel tones in this. Yeah. So I ended up copying the image, and then I went and I pixelated it to get a color palette pull. So I was going to quickly show kind of how I did that, but I don't know if I'm going to stick with that one. So I pulled some fun art that I thought might work well. And
you just kind of went to like Pinterest or just like online?
Yeah. I have a massive amount of Pinterest boards that I use and I keep reference on for things like color palettes and such.
That's fun.
And I really like this one because it's very simple. So I'm going to show you kind of what I did for that. So I go to Filter, I go to Pixelate, and I went to... Did I go to Pointalize? No, I did not. Which one did I...
Yeah, which one is it?
I did this in my hotel room earlier, and I definitely did Pixelate. And I can't remember which one I did. Is it Mosaic? Yeah, okay. So Mosaic.
Very cool.
Which doesn't sound like it would end up giving you this look, but you can change the size of the cells. So the bigger it is, the fewer color options you'll get from it. And as you can see, the bigger I make the cells, the less information you get, and it kind of gets a little more muddied color-wise, but if you pull it kind of around, depending how big it is, like pulling it to about here, about 29 for mine, I get a decent color payout, and because it doesn't feel like it quite matches, I'm gonna go to, what did I just do? I hit the wrong. Oh, I locked my screen. I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay. We just wanna try to capture your. While you're doing that, actually, I wanna. I guess you're back. Never mind.
Well, no, if you wanna do something, you do something.
No, I was gonna show you something color. Oh yeah, I will actually. Can I?
Yeah, go for it. Because I love using this too, and I just like the pointalize thing because it's a quick within the program thing I can do.
Yeah, and here's just kind of like another take on it because everybody kind of gets colored out everywhere. We get it, right? I always just go up to here to import image.
Yeah.
So you can do this right from the desktop and grab. I just grabbed the haunted scene.
Is that from Scooby-Doo?
I feel like it's. I don't know what it's from.
It looks like
so
Scooby-Doo.
I don't know. But again, just picking those colors and then saving it to wherever you want. So just a.
And the nice thing with that too is it does force you to have a very limited color palette.
Yeah, and it's fun to play with, and I'm sure somebody's gonna mention Adobe Capture.
Yeah. Too. So you can see what I just did here is.
Oh no, Jimmy's back. Oh no, just kidding. I don't know.
Oh,
Jimmy Mitchell just says, "Guess who's back?"
So just to brighten this up a little, I'm adjusting the highlight.
So this does give you more control to kind of tweak it. I was just picking different colors. You could really.
Yeah. So what I can do from this is I can alt pick
That looks really nice on the black.
Right? It works real well. I'm gonna pull this one. And then this purple. Yeah, I think like those 4 colors are kind of what this is mainly made up of.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one might be, it's a little lighter. I like that a little better. So I could pull this down.
And I do like
here.
the use of those, the candles. There's like that little bit of orange.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you needed a pop of color for something.
Yeah, and that one we'd have to pull just separately because it's too small to be pulled into here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do, like, and you see, and the hard thing too is if you do just a direct one, sometimes it's a little muddy, so you're gonna have to go in and brighten it yourself. But if I add that into my little color scheme I've got going here, good call on that color.
Yeah, those.
Because that gives it just enough pop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you needed a nice accent color.
So I'm gonna change my color fill to this color. So we're gonna go with this navy blue.
Hello, Ashy. Good to have you here.
And then we're gonna change these guys. We're just gonna recolor them. And actually, I'm gonna do this section. This is kind of cool. If you hit this little one down here, that
Lock the transparency.
Yeah, you can go and recolor just that, rather than doing a layer mask if you know that you're just going to keep this color. There's a lot of things in this program that I've used Photoshop for years, but I don't know the proper terms for some of them, and so I'm just like, hello, the thing.
And then it's not till you like, you know, you might be like live streaming or, you know, like you do, and then you're like, wait, I gotta call this something.
Yeah. Like I have a friend, her husband, or well, fiance, soon to be husband, he teaches digital photography at a high school, and he goes, I've been using, you know, Photoshop and Lightroom and all these programs because I've been using them for years, and I know all the shortcuts. He goes, I've had to relearn how to go and do the menu options and figure out where all this stuff is because I can't teach these kids just the shortcuts. He goes, especially when their tests ask them exactly where things are.
And that's what screwed me up when I took the Photoshop test, is kind of like it was some of those very literal names for things that you have to pick from a multiple choice answer.
Yeah.
So you could use it every day and not pass. I failed the test like twice. It took me 3 times to pass the Photoshop test.
And what was this for?
It was a Photoshop certification, just to say, hey, I'm Photoshop certified.
I feel like I should.
This
do
is
that.
like a long time ago. This is like CS, pre-CS.
Oh, wow.
And that, I think that image might have come from the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Is where that image came from,
that Disney
just so you know.
movie.
And technically, it's an animated GIF, which is also
look
fun.
at that.
Ooh, the shutters
that
banging.
fancy.
That is scary. Yeah.
God, they don't do animation like that these days. I
No.
miss it. So I'm using a combination of like 2 different pencils right now. So one of them is the hard lead one that I've provided, and the other is one that I don't have available for anybody yet. Why is it so big? I think that's a glitch that's happening right now. Is it?
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Oh yeah. It's now it's much smaller.
I had to physically pull it down because when you adjust the brush, it turns. You get a little red square or orange square around this, so that you know you adjusted the brush. And in theory, when you tap it again, it goes back to the original brush settings. But right now, it's not doing that, and I'm not 100% sure why. So I may have to bring that up to developers.
Fevin likes the brush texture. I do too.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how you, again, you have that texture in the letters as well. I think a lot of this stuff you're like, yeah, I could fill a letter with just solid white.
Yeah.
But that's like that's the easy route. You're like, no, I'm gonna actually, create inside of it.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. I did do that for a long time because it was simple, but then my style evolved. And I like having this like a style that looks a little more painterly.
Yeah.
Like I just did some fan art of Ursula from The Little Mermaid on my Behance, and I used the texture brushes and did more of like a painter style than an ink style, and it seemed to work real well.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, third in.
Oh yeah, there it is. So you can check out Shauna's work. Just click on info, and I'm looking at the Ursula.
I do fun things.
Fantastic.
Whenever I can't think of something to draw, I do fan art. I feel it's like the easiest default because then you don't necessarily have to worry about, say, you don't have to worry about your own characters. You don't have to worry about your own like ideas necessarily. It just kind of lets you draw without worrying about what you're going to draw. Like I could just pull a quote from a movie and go from there. And it's just, creating for the sake of creating at that point because you can't sell your fan art. I should say you shouldn't sell your fan art.
Yeah, because anytime you're making money off of somebody else's copyrighted, right? That's kind of the issue.
Yeah, there's gray area because there are some companies that are totally okay with it because they consider it free advertising and it gets more people onto the fandom. But like Disney's one of those that's like that they don't mind if you make fan art so long as you're not making money off of it, is my understanding. Because you can't be stopped from making fan art, but you can be stopped from selling.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And you can kind of keep an eye on that stuff because sometimes things will be, the copyright will expire. And it will, first of all, never expire for Disney. Let's face it.
Never.
Even though technically it should, but
you can renew to a certain degree too, I think.
Well, technically it's supposed to be either 50, I don't know if it's 50 years after the person passes away, but basically there's a period.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 50-year rule that should have expired in the 80s for them or something, but it just keeps getting extended. So it's never gonna.
Yeah, there's something that I think with some like Shakespeare quotes, you can't always use them because the copyright continues to be extended, but some are public domain.
Yeah.
There was an article recently where a bunch of stuff from 1926 just got added to public domain.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking at right now, actually. We're on the same page.
And it's like really beautiful, like posters and publications and things.
Okay.
So I've heard folks with tables at comic conventions selling original art and giving away fan art prints with purchase. Yeah, like that would count because they're not making money off the fan art itself.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also people that are legally allowed to do character work at conventions and stuff. Like one of my friends' dads has been a comic artist for, I think, beyond how long I've known her. She and I have known each other since we were in the second grade, and I remember coming in on career day. He had drawn Spider-Man on the wall, on the chalkboard, because he was an artist for Spider-Man, and then he's been an artist for, I think, like Batman, and I can't even name all the ones. He's done like DC Comics and everything. He's insane. He's so
really?
good. Yeah, and it's like I'd go to her house and he had just like statues and figurines of all these characters that he's done work of. And so he at conventions can legally sell it because he's an artist for them.
Okay, that's cool. And that will be the case as well sometime.
Yeah, but that's a very like outlier in terms of that sort of thing.
So yeah, Tristan, we have Shauna was kind enough to give away some of her brushes, so you could kind of check those out. Those are free of charge, not copyrighted or anything. She's not going to come after you,
Nope.
are ya?
Just don't sell them.
Just don't sell them. Don't be
Yeah.
a jerk.
You can
I
use
think
them all
most
you
of
want.
this-
Just don't sell them.
It's fascinating. Just the whole copyright thing is fascinating.
Yeah.
So, and whether it hinders or helps creativity.
Yeah, that's a hard thing.
It's a whole other question, which I think it kind of helps creativity because, like, you know, you can't use some things. You have to come up with your own thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps creativity, I think.
Yeah, like one of my goals this last year has been getting more comfortable with character art. And so as a result, I would do fan art just so I could start building my own style. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have to think of an original character to start with. So I could do things like, you know, Ursula, make it in my style, and then I'm able to evolve from there. And just push it a bit further each time I do it and try to come up with my own characters at that point.
That is cool.
But it takes that pressure off of trying to figure out how you're going to, you know, create your own thing.
And I'm sure everybody's excited to hear about the song Yes, We Have No Bananas is actually in public domain now. It's about time. It's literally the name of the song.
That's amazing.
Yes, we have no bananas. What are you talking about? This is crazy.
That makes me so happy because it's so ridiculous.
You're right.
That's
Tin Roof Blues.
And it's probably like a piano jazz something or other too, because they had really weird names.
I'm into it.
Songs by Jelly Roll Morton.
Jelly Roll Morton. Ah, why don't we have those names anymore?
I know.
Love it. Yeah, over, 300 works are in public domain. So there's 10 Commandments, some Charlie Chaplin, The Pilgrim. There's some Tarzan titles. I said the 10 Commandments already. It's fascinating. You could do Thor, for instance. Did you know? Because Thor is based on Norse lore. You just can't have your Thor look like Marvel's Thor.
Right.
So you can't do you can't do the little dut with the red cape, with the wings and the helmet.
You could do Hercules because he's Greek mythology. You just can't do Disney's Hercules. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, Disney's Hercules took a lot of liberties with things.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I think it's been a very long time since I've seen that.
It's cute. All right, so I'm using the pencil that I don't have available right now for anyone because it will be
She's just
released.
trying to keep her edge.
Yeah, it'll
Try
be
to keep your edge.
trying to keep my edge. Yeah, it's gonna be released in like a sample pack later on.
Advantage over everybody else. I can't give you everything.
Yeah, but this one I really like. So it looks kind of like a Conte or like pastel.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
And I call it "This will be good for something." Like I literally could not come up with any other name, and I just made it one day, and I was like, "This will be good for something." So we're gonna do just a little bat in that color.
Yeah, music copyright is kind of wild, Jan Eric.
I love looking at like old jazz tunes and seeing the names of them because they're just some ridiculous ones.
Oh yeah, it's Kirby Ferguson. So if you haven't seen, Jan Eric probably knows, Everything is a Remix.
Yeah.
So he did a couple of those videos. This guy, Kirby Ferguson, he does such a good job.
Oh, is that the one where he does, is he the one that did those 4 notes and he's like, these 4 notes are in all these different songs and he sings parts of the songs as he goes?
Oh, how funny. No, it could be. I like that whole idea. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I'll have to find that later and send it to you because it's really funny to watch because it's just these 4 notes and he's like, it goes from this song to this song to this song and he just transitions each one.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Where do you find your brushes? You kind of make your own and then, yeah, tell us.
Yeah, so when I started out with brushes, what did I do to his wing here?
Holy smokes.
Holy shnikes. Yeah, I started out with Kyle's. Because his were for me, they were a great intro down the rabbit hole, essentially. And so I ended up learning I started with his and I just do like little tweaks so that they'd look how I envisioned whatever I was drawing to look like. And then eventually I decided I wanted to just kind of try my hand at it myself, because at the time I was doing digital chalk work. And I wanted a brush that would look exactly like digital chalk. And I ultimately did manage to do that, but I did not sell the brush for a good year or two. Because at the time it was becoming such a popular thing that I did want to keep my edge.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there weren't many people doing it in the digital realm. So I wanted to keep that upper hand. So I started simply just by trial and error. I made my own textures, and I keep those in there. So if I need a certain look, I'll just sort of kind of mess around until I get that look. If that makes sense?
No, I'm into it. And thank you so much, Dana, for posting that link. She posted a link of yours from Creative Market.
Thank you, Dana.
And I think you mentioned this. I think you mentioned this yesterday. Somebody did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You need something like Typekit for brushes.
That would be
Like that
amazing.
sort of like interface almost would be nice to jump out there.
That would be cool if there was a way to do like...
And sync it automatically.
Yeah, and just like and activate as needed if we needed it. That would be something really cool. We could call it Brush Kit or something.
Yeah.
It's totally not original at all, but...
You got your chalk brushes out there.
Yep.
Into it.
I will say though, if you're making brushes, if you're going to sell them, make sure that you have everything that you're sourcing is your original stuff. Because I don't check I don't check like what source people use, but some brush makers do, and they're very adamant about making sure that their source files don't get used, even if by mistake. So
yeah, you did something kind of clever there that I want people to be aware of. Did you do a right click on that layer?
I did.
Is it just literally just a right click?
Yeah.
Or are you holding down an option key or? No?
Yeah, it's if I were using a mouse, it was right click.
Okay, right click and then boom. That
Yeah.
just allows you to locate, because really look at all these crazy layers you have in there. Just kidding.
You can also control tap a layer, and it'll take you directly to that layer.
Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom out of this real quick, and I'm gonna turn off the sketch layer and just kind of see how it's looking. Just see if it's feeling right.
Welcome, Gil Marquez Santos de Castro. Loves chalk brushes. Yeah, that's a good like type lockup you have going though, I must say.
Yeah, thank you. What I may end up doing is kind of pulling this little guy maybe in a little more, kind of adjusting where the grim grinning sits. So I may just shift those two words over a little bit. Just so that, because right now the type kind of feels like it's doing this.
It's leaning?
Yeah, a little bit, and it's not in a good way necessarily. And there's some room for me to shift things.
Okay.
But I will do that after.
One thing that I don't know may or may not be fun is doing a little in and out. So like the S for ghosts is behind that ghost.
Oh.
You know, so just like he overlaps. It's like an in and out thing happening.
So I can actually show you my trick for this. Because I have done that where letters interlap things. So I'm going to create this into a group, and I'm going to label this. Do as I say, not as I do. I don't label any of my layers generally.
Yeah, no, hey, there's no judgment here. I don't like it when people are like, name your layers, folks. I'm like, you mind your own business. This is my file, and I'm not sharing it with anyone, so leave me alone.
Yeah, let me live my life.
Let me live my life.
Yeah, I end up, if I am doing work for a client, I will label it. If I am not doing work for a client, I don't label any of my layers. Like right now I have, this is actually fun. I can't say who it's for yet, but I'm doing a piece for a very big Broadway show. And I think I'm gonna have to probably give them the source file, so it's gonna have to be labeled.
Okay. It's up to you.
Yeah, if I only have to give them a JPEG, it's not getting labeled, but I get to I'm working with the big Broadway show, which is like my little choir nerd inside's dream.
Very cool.
Okay, so that's the behind type. Where's my type layer? Here it is. So I'm going to put a layer mask on this.
Exactly. So Dana nailed it. She's like, nobody really names their layers, unless, like, maybe a way that you understand until you have to give them to somebody, like in your case.
Right.
You're, working on this, you're like, yeah, maybe I will be a kind person.
Yeah.
And not make it insane.
So what I ended up doing was I copied, so this layer is copied and it's above this ghost and below the ghost, so that when I remove the top layer, it sits right, like I don't have to worry about trying to match it up to any of this.
Cool.
It just sits right below the ghost. Same with this, like I could do that with the O if I wanted.
And you're just painting on that mask.
Yeah. This doesn't work as well, I think, simply because it is the second letter of a word, and it doesn't make sense to have it behind.
Oh, that's true.
But I could do that.
Ooh, yeah.
I could do it here, and it would work. And I could do it like right here.
Jan Eric names his layers layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. Just kidding.
I could probably do it right here too.
There is actually, it doesn't.
I think that there's like an extension you can get that you can use to name your layers, and there's one you can get that will find any layers that you either made that have nothing on them. So if you accidentally made an extra layer, it'll find ones that have nothing in them, and then you can delete them.
Okay.
But they also have one where it finds if you haven't named your layer.
Yeah. I mean, it's still going to require you to type something in. Like, you still have to type something in.
Right.
Because it can only get as specific as type layer or, bitmap layer or vector. Like, who knows?
Right.
Dana, that's awesome. She wants to name all of her layers like Bob, Dave, Debbie. That's funny. Phil, like crazy Uncle Phil.
I wish I could get away with something like that, because that would be hilarious.
Or maybe you like have a whole sentence starting at the top. It's like a story.
These are not the layers you're looking for.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm waiting for Val to catch that.
Yes, color coding groups is.
That's something I've never done.
Color coding.
I never color code my groups. I feel like I should.
It's like if you are really going to be involved in a file, and I remember doing that with like some UI type stuff.
Yeah.
Like, here's my global elements, and they're green for global, sort of thing.
It makes sense. Okay, there's my layer. So now we're gonna go in. We're gonna make the little busts. And I'm thinking, for right now, I'm gonna do them this white color, and then we'll figure out from there if that works or not.
Yeah. And is that going to be like are you going to do a fill? Or like roughly you're painting him in kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going very loose with them, because what I'm going to do is do some layer masks to do like the little cheeks and stuff, so that they stay within the color.
Okay, cool. Thank you for posting that helmet. Posted the layers extension.
And what does that one do?
Well, I haven't. I mean, this is the short of it. I'll just kind of share this screen real fast. A layer name editor. Remove unused effects.
Oh, flatten all layer effects. Actually, that would be really handy.
There's the delete empty layers, like you mentioned.
Yeah. Rasterize smart objects. That's actually kind of a really cool thing.
Find similar files / folders. Interesting. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Oh, we have fireworks. Oh, look at this. And I didn't even mention it at the top.
that.
What is happening? It's time for a chat and win. Let's dive into it right now. Welcome back, everybody.
Back.
So, say something in chat, and we will pull a winner at random and give them some free stickers. 100 of them, in fact.
Yeah, tell me your favorite Disney villain.
Yes, Disney.
Mine is Frollo.
I don't even know.
Have you seen Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Yeah.
That guy, the creepy, like, love me or I kill you one.
Okay. During that, while that video was playing, I was like, I don't know any Disney villains. And she's like, say Scar. You look smart, just say Scar. I'm like, okay, from Lion King. Ursula, Maleficent. Oh, good call.
Yeah. Scar, Vader. I mean,
Sparkles.
technically, Vader is now a Disney villain.
Yeah, good call.
Hades, Marvel, Scar, Sassy Hades.
Gaston's fun.
Gaston.
You know who's not a villain, more like a hero right now, is Fevin.
Woohoo!
Fevin Aminu.
Congratulations.
You are our winner today, and yes, you win 100 stickers from Sticker Mule. We will contact you through Behance. We'll send you a message, and we just appreciate you hanging out. It's our way of saying thanks.
Good job.
And also, know that we have this URL. So basically, you can get easily 10 stickers for free just by using that URL. For $1, sorry. Not for free, but it's virtually free if it's like $1.
It's like you're getting them for free, basically.
Yeah.
It's a steal.
I mean, I gotta like enter in my credit card information for that $1. I guess so.
But it's worth it, right?
Yeah, no, I get it. I like it.
I will probably make use of that. I'll make some quickie little stickers of some kind.
I know, it's so fun. And by the way, this is a little FYI side note. I know this is obviously Photoshop all week. If you're new to Illustrator, download, install Illustrator, open it up. I think we're targeting like beginners in Illustrator and giving them, there's a sticker promotion.
Oh, really?
With Illustrator happening right now. I'll have to look up the details, but how they target you is if you've just installed Illustrator and started dabbling.
Oh, that's
then
cool.
you'll get like a code for free stickers or something like that. So
that's a cool perk.
yeah, thank you so much, Val, for posting that.
What if I never use Illustrator? Could I get that same pro? I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. I don't know the full details on how they target people, but
You look like you'd enjoy some stickers. Here's a code.
that would be awesome.
It'd be like a little clippy from the Microsoft Word program.
Right.
Pops up. You look like you would enjoy some stickers.
I wanted to be like, hey, we noticed your laptop doesn't have any stickers. Would you like to make one?
It should just be your face that pops up.
Mine? Like, hey, I do have a clippy. That's a fun idea.
Will you just
Turn
character
yourself into-
animator?
Yeah.
It'll just be your face. It pops up. You look like you'd enjoy some stickers, and then it would be like a picture of you like this. Here's a code.
That's funny. Into it. All right. Just so you know, we also have that clock on the other side of us. That countdown clock says portfolio submissions deadline. Get your portfolios in. We'll review those. This is your last segment for this week to get yours reviewed.
What's next week's theme?
Palco probably knows offhand for sure. I can. UI, oh yeah, UI UX. I knew that.
UI UX. So, my friend's on that next week. So guys, you should totally tune in and cheer her on.
Trying to get there. Is it Catlow?
Ayana?
Ayana? Oh, Ayana. Okay. Ayana Campbell Smith.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's my friend. So tune in and make her feel super welcome, guys.
Very nice.
All right, so I'm gonna drop the opacity down on these guys so I can start getting the details in. I'm going to create a layer mask by using the Alt key. And for now, we're going to give them purple cheeks because I just want to. And it's my little world, and that's what's going to happen.
All right. Yeah, and other guests next week, just so you know. Catlow, again, Ayana will be on from 11 to 1. 1 to 3, we have Jermaine. Oh, Jermaine Luis Boca. We've had her in before as well. Yeah, so good lineup next week. And don't forget, we have Talon talking about Adobe XD tomorrow, Friday. This is kind of like our Friday, though.
It is nice. Yeah, it's going to feel weird because like tomorrow I travel. And it's going to feel like a Friday, and then tomorrow's going to feel like a Saturday, and then all Saturday and Sunday, it's going to feel like a Sunday.
That's going to be awesome. It's
and
like
then,
2 Sundays in a row. Like,
I know, and then I travel back to Chicago Monday, and it's just going to throw my whole week off. And I'm after travel like this, I'm useless for like a day or two. So it's probably a good thing that it's going to be like negative 10 degrees next week.
Ouch. You're doing something pretty fancy here. I just want to make sure everybody caught it because you added a clipping mask.
Uh-huh.
So you kind of laid down the white and said, this is my shape,
yep.
Right? And then applied a clipping mask to that, which will just paint on top of.
Yeah.
It paints on its own layer, but.
Yeah. So basically, like if I go outside of this, it's only paint. You're only going to see what it attaches to on the layer beneath it. Mm-hmm. But like, so if I do this, and I go in and I release the layer, you're going to see how messy it looks. Mm-hmm. But then if I go, boop.
You're actually pretty good. You're good at coloring within the lines.
That was what I got the A+ for in elementary school.
Good job.
I am loving Chicago, Anna. I'm getting the full gamut of it because we're supposed to get like really cold weather next week apparently. So next Wednesday the high is -10 and the low is -20 something. So I'm just gonna not leave my bed at all on Wednesday. And yeah, it's a spoopy brush. Oh, spoopy blush. I like it, yeah.
That's perfect. And I think Lucid Co. brings up a good point. So in terms of picking the portfolios, we'll hopefully try to find someone that might have a similar style or just kind of more using Photoshop for like as an illustrator like you're doing.
Yeah. Ooh, that's going to be...
Anna Davis Court's kind enough to knit you a sweater.
I appreciate it.
Oh, nice. So Lucid Co. used to work for a greeting card company, which sounds kind of awesome, I think. I'm sure it's not that easy, but it sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. I've got a friend that works for a greeting card company. She does type design for them, and she's really cool. So right now I'm just using the pencil brush to give them little details. And this document is smaller than I generally draw. This is 5x7, so I'm working as if it were printed at 5x7, but generally when I work much larger so that I can be really gratuitous with the details.
Nice. And what is, actually I'm trying to...
What is what?
What are you drawing at 100% right now? Like how big is this file?
This file it's a 5x7.
Okay, gotcha, it's an artboard, that's what it's...
Yeah.
Sorry.
So let's see how these guys are looking if I bring this opacity back up.
Julia, yes, there is a place where you can download Shauna's brushes, but first you need to open up your CD drive and put some money in it, and then close it, and then you'll get the link. Just kidding.
So what I did is I made another adjustment layer, so now I've got 2 of them on here, but I wanted to do a separate one to do just a little bit of very light shading.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give it a little bit of grit.
Mm-hmm. Into it.
I need to send Anna this brush because I want to see what she would do with this.
Those are cool.
I feel like her style would render real well in it.
And I think for the colors, you're kind of testing these out. These may or may not be the final colors. Is that the thought, or are they the final colors? I don't know.
Yeah, it may not be. Once I turn the sketch back off, I'm going to start really playing with that and kind of seeing ways to really push and pull things. If that makes sense.
I will say that this is looking really good since you added the characters down there. Like in white, it balances out that text, because that text in white was obviously...
Yeah, it was pulling too much to the top. Anna goes, I draw you all the things. All right, girl, I'll have you test this brush for me before I put the sample pack up so I can make sure it's a good one.
It's like they were normal kids. Actually, they were normal kids till they ran into Medusa, and then they turned to stone.
There we go. I like that. So this one, now I'm going to do a few details that don't follow a layer mask, but we're going to use the hard lead and we're going to bring the size down, because I think what's happening is what may have happened is I may not have done like capture size when I made this. Yeah, okay, so that's what happened. So that's why these aren't resetting, is because I didn't choose capture brush size in preset.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because that's generally been selected, and I think the update deselected it.
Welcome, Benjamin Brown, if you're just joining us. Got Shauna Lynn Panczyszyn here. Shauna Parmesan doing some basically illustration and hand lettering in Photoshop. So she hasn't really created her own font, but...
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have, but not... Okay, never mind, you have. Yeah,
I've made my own font, but this is all hand-drawn. I'm like,
Gotcha.
excuse me, I've made 3, sir.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just didn't know if they were talking about this.
Oh yeah, no, this is lettering, not a font.
Oh yeah. Where can they find that font, in case they're curious?
Creative Market.
Okay, you got it.
Yep, creativemarket.com/Shauna Parmesan.
I love it. Awesome. Fevin's on it. Just sent his or her portfolio link, which is fantastic. That's why we have that clock on the other side of us. Cassie's wondering if you put your paintings at a larger DPI so you can print them.
I do. I draw everything. Let me see I think I have this one set at 350. Yeah, I do all of my illustrations at minimum 350 DPI. Sometimes I'll do them at 400. And it's just so if I have to increase the size after the fact, I can. How did I choose the name Shauna Parmesan? My last name is insane. Yeah. So when I graduated college, I worried that no one would be able to spell that and I didn't want to have to buy the domain and then buy all the different iterations and redirect them all.
Mm-hmm.
And so Shauna, like Parmesan was a joke in high school that one of my friends was like, yeah, I can't say your last name, so I've just been calling you Shauna Parmesan. And then the agency I worked at, I found out that one of the guys was like, oh yeah, I just call you Shauna Prosciutto. I'm like, why do you guys associate food with my last name?
Shauna Prosciutto. Into it.
All right, now I'm gonna do one more layer, and I'm gonna take this white, and I'm gonna just, we're gonna go outside the,
And she's working on a Surface Pro.
sure am. Yeah, look how fun that looks. The little details.
Happy to answer any other questions you might have. That's fun. I kind of like I do like the in and out.
Yeah, I think it works well.
Oh yes, we got a fancy Mickey ghost.
And these might have to go, these I might have to change to dark so that it doesn't, interfere with this, but I'm gonna see how it goes.
And that's, I feel like when you're, again, it's just starting a new subject. This is this on a new layer, like an accent layer, if you will, or something, right?
Yeah, anytime I move sections, I generally just do a new layer. And then I have my layers on my panel here set so that it closes in on just what's drawn versus the whole artboard.
Nice. Pretty cute. I like it. Oh yeah, so Cassie, I think you might have answered this yesterday. Do you exclusively work in Photoshop, and have you ever made type in Illustrator?
That was close.
That was close.
Thankfully, it's closer to the end of it. I very rarely work in Illustrator, so I'm 99.9% of my time in Photoshop. I only use Illustrator if I have to vectorize something, and even then I draw it in Photoshop and go from there. Now that I've done that, I need to give these little suckers down here. What?
Oh, nothing. Just somebody's asking how Anna Davis Court's doing. She's like, I'm doing good, very busy, possibly dying, but still drawing, so it's fine. You know how it is when you're possibly dying,
Oh, we know those days. That's me a lot.
This is looking really good. I like these accents that you're putting on here, just the whole color and everything.
Thank you.
So yeah, we did show off Photoshop for the iPad at Adobe Max. I happen to have it right here.
What? Oh my god. It's the first time I've seen it in person, guys. Excuse me while I fangirl over this here.
Oh, it's all good. Can't show it to you, world. But yeah, so
that was made on iPad?
No, it wasn't. I just loaded it up because I wanted something with a lot of layers. Oh. And there's like 200 layers in this file.
And it's not breaking?
No, it's not breaking. It doesn't have everything you'd expect, so there's no layer modes. Oh wait, I take that back.
Oh, snap.
There are layer modes. Blend modes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Huh.
Oh, that's so cool. So, I know, it's so funny when you said there's like 200 layers, because when Anna and I were at Icon, we were hanging out with Sid, and Sid had come up to me and she goes, Shauna, Anna has the Wacom Mobile Studio Pro. You need to go try it. She goes, I opened my biggest file on there and I tried to break it and I couldn't. And I was like, wait, you went in with the intention of trying to break her equipment? And she goes, yes, and I couldn't. She goes, that's how you know it's good.
Yeah. I have the first, Paul Alvarez, I have the first iPad Pro. So it's probably a year and a half old. I don't know the exact one, but it's the...
That's like a huge iPad Pro too.
Yeah.
Is it 13 inches?
Let me check the exact... Oh, no, I cannot. Usually I look on the back and it's got a skin on the back.
Oh, hold it up to this. Just like lay it on top of this.
Okay.
Like... Yeah.
Oh, wow. About 13 inches. 12.9 or whatever they say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because, yes, it did a really good job trying to break it. See, I told you.
So I think I saw somebody ask, what are you doing sort of thing. And I'm glad that, again, we have the replays tab. You can see the past couple days. You started out, really from scratch yesterday. And now it's really fun watching this come to life.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch the previous video and just especially with your stuff, just scrubbing over and watch it come to life in a fast forward type sequence.
Yeah. Here, I'll open up my previous layers so you can see what happened. So this is what it started at. So this fun little thing, and you'll see it doesn't really change a whole lot between sketch and final, and normally for client work I would actually do multiple sketches before I came to this.
And this is you did this on the stream though too, yeah?
Yeah. And the one thing you see is the lettering is a lot thinner, so that may be the second iteration. So you can see here I ended up moving things around in comparison. So things kind of dropped down, moved around, the lettering got some shape to it, and then I did a third layer. So you can see that one did not change a whole lot between start to finish, and actually we were gonna do columns in the back, but I think it may end up being too much, unless I do just some very dark black something or others in the background. Actually, you know what, now that I've said that, let me try that and see.
Welcome, Loris is new to Behance. That's awesome. So you kind of redrew it a good, you did the type 3 times.
Yeah.
At least. So that's very cool.
Yeah, I like to do multiple iterations of stuff just so that I'm 100% happy and I try every option out there.
All right, let's try to form complete sentences there, Marion, but Marion Frey wants you to wave to her. We could do a better job. We're going full screen. I think. I hope.
Only if you do it with me. Ready?
Marion, welcome. Good to have you here.
Actually, that might give it just a little bit of depth. I'm not sold, but I think I'm gonna have to turn off let me turn off this, guys, so I can at least see.
And are you drawing something, or are these just color splotches?
They were gonna be the columns in the background, but we're not gonna give them we're not gonna give them too much detail, but I wanna at least get like head shapes on them.
Mm-hmm. This seems like a fun scene until you realize that those were once real children that were then turned to stone. Just kidding.
This is your fan canon of this.
Yeah.
Okay, that looked like a goiter, so let's fix that. So it's an ear. Okay, let's see. So you can't really see if that, but I kind of like that depth that gets added.
Yeah, I do like the depth.
So now I'm gonna just go and we're gonna go in and add some character to this lettering.
Gotcha. That's what I was wondering, like if it needed something.
Yeah, I feel like it needs something, and I'm not 100% sure what yet. But I think this is where we can start throwing like a pink in there or something to make it really pop against the color background.
Paul's asking if you worked lo-fi, like with paint or drawing, or or did you just jump right into digital?
I jumped right into digital. I've never been very good at analog drawing. I used to do like portraiture analog, but it was always very messy. Nowadays though, I'm just like, I'm not patient enough to do actual painting, so I do all digital.
Okay, so dots. You're going with the dots, yeah?
I don't know. I'm not sold on them. I decided I'd try it, but it's almost too much.
Well, yeah. And I've noticed in some of your other work, again, you have an awesome portfolio, but I'm trying to think what works. Like that might work.
And it may be I'm not using the right color.
Yeah.
Oh.
Another thought was just, to give it like this might work. This might work.
Let's pull it out real quick. Yeah, I feel like it's almost too much, and I need to do something in the background versus on the letters.
Or another thought I had was like doing, say the bottom half of the letter in just not a white, like an off-white, like a light,
like
purple,
a shade.
Yeah.
Could try that.
Like they are kind of like coming out of the, purple or blue.
Let me toss that in here. Let me throw it on a layer mask.
Hello, Lanus. Trademarked. I like that. Welcome. Good to have you here.
It might even have to be a little lighter than this, but
oh, that's kind of cool.
Because I don't want to do it all the way to the end here, because it'll disappear.
Yeah, true.
But if we just kind of we do some shading.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I think the shading's kind of. Open to suggestions or thoughts. And yeah, I guess you don't really know till you get it all in there.
Yeah, sometimes you can tell early on if it's not going to work, but let me see if we do.
Do you make it, do you go lighter with it? Like, can you, make it semi-transparent or something? I don't know. Yeah, like that.
That almost might just be enough. Or do we do something like that where it pops like crazy?
Oh yeah, that's kind of interesting. It's almost too much. Like I almost want the eyes to glow like gold. But that looks good. I personally think that looks good.
Yeah. Well, what I did is I've got two in here, so
okay.
We can stack them if we need to decide. But I do kind of like this really light purple. It's just enough to give it some personality and give it some visual interest.
Paul wants to know if there's a way to work between bitmapping, I don't know if bitmapping slash halftoning are exactly the same thing, but work between bitmapping without being destructive.
Destructive?
As in, being able to scale it up. Like he wants to work in bitmap, but he wants to have the benefits of vector to like scale it up and all that stuff and make it look good.
I just draw extra large to start if I'm unsure of the final size. Or
Yeah.
even so, like I worked for 17 magazine and we did spot illustrations. So the spots were only printed about like this big. But when I drew them this big so that if in case they had to scale them at all, they could. So even though they were only printed this big, they were drawn this big.
Mm-hmm. Good suggestions. Thank you, Esther. You know, as you start to layer this in, you know, maybe a light pale green. That's also a good option. Do ghosts have to eat? They eat blueberries, probably.
Yeah, or if you're,
What else?
you know, in the Harry Potter universe, they walk through the food and they can kind of taste it.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah. In the books anyways, not the movies, but...
Wasn't there something that came out recently, like How Do the Wizards Go to the Bathroom or something?
Oh, there was! Yeah, because they take Muggle plumbing or something, and everyone was like, they probably just magic it away.
Yeah. Which university? Did you go to college for art or anything?
I went to the University of North Florida for graphic design.
Sweet.
I have a fine arts degree, though, because they didn't have... It's not a design degree. It's a concentration there. So it's a fine arts degree with a concentration in graphic design and digital media. And I have a minor in painting, drawing, and printmaking, because it was just a combined minor, but I took enough art classes that I didn't have any overlap. So they all counted towards my major and my minor.
Nice.
Okay, so since we're not going to the edges of this, I'm actually going to undo it as a layer mask. And then we're going to pull it up out of there so it doesn't get cut off. What is the most used brush of Shauna? It's my pencil one, actually. I use a sketch pencil that I made for everything.
Merrick.
And this may be my second most used currently.
Merrick Soymak. I'm not sure how you pronounce your last name, but he's like, hey, you have a very Polish sounding last name.
Oh, I do. And it is.
And so does Merrick. I mean, look at those Z's and Y's in there. I can tell already. That's obviously Polish.
Simchak.
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 CZ is a cha. I know that. So it'd be, I think,
Chim.
CZY Panchez Sizmchak. If I'm correct, let me know, because I think it's probably Sizmchak.
Cool. Yeah, there will be Illustrator coming up at some point. We did that a couple weeks ago with the creative campaign. We kind of dove into Illustrator. It just kind of depends. In 2 weeks, we're going to do, I think, a editorial design. So week after next, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so it's going to be like InDesign. I'm sure it'll include some Illustrator as well. All right, Marion wants to start using AutoCAD. Well, good luck with that. Kind of in the wrong spot for that, but I'm like, more power to you. Use that AutoCAD.
Yeah. God, I remember when I
Scheimchuck is what Merrick says. Scheimchuck.
Scheimchuck.
Cool.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Thank you. Why don't you just spell that? I'm just kidding.
I wasn't terribly off. I was
No,
off, but I
yeah.
wasn't terribly off. Yeah, when I was in school, like we learned the Adobe program, so I had InDesign, and then imagine my shock when, because even where I interned was Adobe programs too, and then I freelanced at an agency for a couple weeks, and they used Quark.
Okay, yeah.
And I can't tell you how much time I spent Googling how to do things in Quark.
Yeah, that was like the standard. So you probably went, was this 2002, 2005? What?
Yeah, I was high school. I graduated 2006. I graduated college 2010.
Okay, gotcha. Well, that sucks. And I think the print industry just takes a while to.
Yeah, I think at
get
this
caught up.
point, I think they've probably phased out Quark. It was one of their longtime clients, and I think it was pulling up older files to update. But it was just like, I just remember that moment of panic when I saw it was a Quark file. Because I was like, I've never touched this program at all. Quark. Q-U-A-R-K.
Quark Express. Which is a Denver company, actually, as well. So,
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Is it even still around?
I'm sure to some degree, but not what they used to be. But I think it is.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because it's definitely not like, I mean, Adobe has become industry standard at this point.
Yeah. It was Quark Express, no E, E-X, yeah, so. Oh yeah, so this is their selling point. It's the latest. First of all, Quark Express 2018 is the leading desktop publishing software for creative professionals. Lifetime license, no subscription. So basically that means nothing.
Yeah.
That's like, we have, yeah.
They're just
cloud free. They're going that route for the marketing.
Which the industry now is cloud.
Yeah.
I use Dropbox to store all my stuff. And it's so nice because now they have that selective sync, so I don't have to have everything on my computer. It only syncs what I need it to. But I can see all my files still, and it's fantastic.
That is pretty cool.
I will say I haven't tried the Creative Cloud file syncing.
Yeah, it works the same way, but one little like pro tip is you could put the Creative Cloud files folder in Dropbox.
Can I really?
Yeah, so then you can have like both worlds. Like in case you wanted to open up a Creative Cloud files on, Photoshop Sketch for some reason, you can open up that file. Actually, like the PSD should come in like flat, by the way, but yeah, you can open that up and draw over these letters on an iPad if you want to.
That's cool. I learned Photoshop Sketch in a weekend.
Nice, yeah.
I was doing work for Samsung, and they sent me the Galaxy Note phone, and they're like, you can use whichever program you works best. We recommend X. It was like one program that they recommended, and they said, or Photoshop Sketch. And I'm like, well, Adobe. I know Adobe. So I ended up crash coursing myself through it in a weekend. And the funniest part was Renee, who works on that team, messaged me as soon as the work went live. And she's like, did you do this in Photoshop Sketch? I'm like, how did you even recognize that was that program?
Haha. Now it's even harder since you can have like Kyle's brushes in Photoshop Sketch.
Yeah, that was what I liked about it, is because I was able to import my own brushes in. So I used my pencil brush to sketch, and I had an inking brush that I used to make the thing happen, to make the work happen. I think I put it on my Behance. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's on there if anyone is like curious about it.
Okay, so by the way, I just like have so first off, Cassie, you are right. I think again you're talking to somebody who works for Adobe, so
yeah,
it has a ton of benefits that we keep adding that has not. It's not like we're sitting still at all. Like we add programs, we give you 14,000 fonts. You didn't have that at one point.
Yeah. Even my sister, she's got the single subscription to the photography plan, so she could have Photoshop, and she had 3 months free because Adobe provided 3 months free to try CC, and I didn't need it, so I gave it to her to try, and she loved Typekit so much, or Adobe fonts so much, that when she scaled back, because at that point she realized she only needed Photoshop, she goes, do I still get all the fonts?
Right.
She's like, do I still get all the fonts, because I like having that. So she was excited with that. Like that $10 subscription gets her access to 14,000 fonts.
Yeah, she had the photography plan. See, good for her.
And it gets you access to Kyle's brushes and all that good stuff. I don't know which brushes she uses. I'd like to think she uses the ones I provided her, but I don't think that's the case. I think she uses Kyle's.
Oh, Anna? Who?
My sister.
Oh, your sister. Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing with the mobile apps, like they are pretty easy to pick up. I said Anna because I was reading one of her comments how she had to learn like Sketch pretty much in a weekend to work at least quickly.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't take long. It just does not take long.
It's just diving in and doing it basically. Because if you can do Photoshop, generally Sketch comes easier. How are we doing on time? We still have a good amount of time left.
Yeah, less than 20 minutes to get your portfolios in. Last day. I'll review those. This is going well though. Into it. Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah, that was just like the little bit we needed.
Mm-hmm. Really into it.
And then I may just add a little bit of this like light color just kind of throughout the background, just give it a little bit of some like shading.
Yeah.
Sketchiness, or maybe a little bit of it to here. But the beginning of the stream, I was not sure how well this was going to work out. And it's because once you hit that middle stage, it's like nothing about the piece ends up looking good until you get to this point. At least for me.
So, Marion, the software should work the same on Mac and PC, by the way. Just with Windows, they have a different way of doing things than they do on the Mac. So it's definitely an operating thing. It's not a Photoshop thing. We like to make things easy. We wish they were, like, exactly the same. But especially with the latest version of, like, Windows 10, in some cases doesn't have a menu bar at the top. So you have to right-click, and that's how you get to a lot of menu items.
Yeah, the one
at least in XD, that it's that way.
Yeah, the biggest difference I noticed from like the Windows version of like Photoshop in Windows versus Photoshop in Mac is that in Mac there's a search bar in the help thing.
Oh yeah.
So if I type it in, it'll actually go and find it, and it has a little arrow that goes right here.
Sorry about that. That was my fault.
Shame. But yeah, I think the hardest thing going back and forth is just remembering Control versus Command, because they're flipped on the keyboard.
Yeah, which I would just, why don't they sell a keyboard, or actually you could probably through the software modify and like flip those two.
I'm sure.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'd want to do.
Or like
and
Apple
really mess with your head.
Yeah. Or Apple could come out with like a foldable keyboard.
Yeah.
I'd buy that in a heartbeat. The nice thing though is like
touchscreen for a Mac.
Yeah. The nice thing though is like with the mobile version of Photoshop, I activated this little panel here. So you have Shift Control Alt. So like if I don't have my keyboard out, I can do a Shift key, which is really nice.
That is cool. Did you just draw that line?
I did, and now my computer froze.
Or it's save. Just going kind of slow.
Yeah, there we go. I scared the thing.
Yeah, Amanda, you are right. For portfolios, we'd like to keep it kind of related to what Shauna's doing. Is the goal. That would be the ideal portfolios. But we'll see what we get.
Yeah, first two streams were photo editing, and this one's illustration.
By the way, Esther mentions the search in Photoshop is on the right. Technically, it's on the right on a Mac too, but the search function is like pretty fabulous, because you'll do a search for the crop tool and it will highlight the crop tool.
Yeah, that's the one thing I really like about using Photoshop on the Mac versus it on Windows.
But it has it in here too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
right here. That little magnifying glass up there.
Is that?
Yeah, click on that and just type in, again, crop. See crop tool? See, now select it. It highlights it in the menu.
Okay, that's cool.
That's kind of fancy.
Yeah.
And you can search on anything. You search Adobe Stock that way as well. Tutorials. Yeah. So crop tool pulled up the crop tool, and how to use it was just below that.
Yeah. So that panel, you can find it by going to... Okay, hang on.
Preferences, probably?
Yeah, I have to get down to it in here.
Which is also in a different spot, like Mac versus PC.
Here it is. It's because my interface is expanded so it fits back here. So all my stuff is way low. So it is in technology previews, and you're going to do use modifier keys palette.
Ah.
So you turn it off, it goes away, turn it on, it'll come back up. So then you go to Windows and you go to modifier keys and it'll pop up.
Sweet.
But that's a really great tool to have.
I agree, Cody. Cody says the mint is working really great with the purples.
Yeah.
Totally agree. So does that gold. Little pop.
Yeah, especially with illustration, you really want to keep your, in theory, like you can keep your palettes pretty simple, and then you just have like, you know, 1 or 2 colors as something to really keep, kind of really make things pop up and pop out.
You know, it'd be kind of cool with this. Maybe, maybe not. It might be a horrible idea. Is if there was a brush and it's kind of like this rough brush like you have, but if you look closer, it's actually a skull.
You can actually do that.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on, we're gonna do this. Should we do this?
If you want, if you, I don't mean to throw you off.
Let me finish.
Do those, yeah. Do
yeah,
those
let me
last
finish
two.
these 2 little guys, and then we'll make a skull brush, and then we'll make that available to everyone while we review portfolios.
Oh, Andrew, welcome, buddy. Hortrattle, how do you say the last name?
Andrew Hoshradal.
Hoshrattle. He's gonna be our guest in 2 weeks, buddy. Sorry, I'm not gonna be here, man.
Yes, I want. That would be
not.
cool to have a glow in the dark layer. How do we make that happen?
A glow in the dark.
Yeah, I have credits with. I can't. Well, I can't sell it, unfortunately, but I have credits with Mama Sauce. I could work with them and have them do a glow in the dark
actually,
layer.
glow in the dark poster. That would be sweet.
Yeah, I did chat with them. I did a workshop for them. And we did it in exchange for print credits.
I'm also wondering. Well, maybe not. Never mind.
Throw it out there. What was the
Rattle.
idea?
There we go. Hawk rattle is how you
Hawk
say it.
rattle.
Ah.
I always just
So
said
cool.
horseradish, so.
You could do like Shauna Parmesan. Like you just need to be Andrew Hawk Rattle, spelled that way on all the social medias.
We need to get you a leather jacket that says Hawk Rattle.
Yeah.
And it's a hawk holding a rattle.
Yeah. Or it's like a hybrid animal. I'm sure Voodoo Val knows what that's called.
Oh yeah, like a hawk with a rattlesnake tail?
Yeah, like yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna just make a skull brush. So we're gonna dive into this head first, you guys.
That's looking so good, by the way.
All right, so I'm gonna create a new artboard.
I'm glad I was able to help with so much of it. Just kidding. I'm just sitting here being entertained, and it's awesome.
So I'm gonna make it using the lasso tool. So we're gonna do, and I'm gonna try and redraw that in a much better way. Do that.
Yes, no offense to the Andrew Horseradish, but everybody gets a food nickname. That's cool.
Okay, so we're gonna do, so there's our skull. So now we're going to select, we're gonna go to edit, presets, no, edit, define brush preset. So there's our little skull, we're gonna call it skull. Now, we're gonna go to our brush panel. We're gonna locate said skull. Here he is. Okay, so this is what he looks like when you just draw with him. So we're gonna drop his size down to like here. So you just, actually we're gonna do it just there so you see a little skull. So we're gonna make him an inker. And we're gonna do an angle jitter. So every time you turn, he gives it a...
And then if you click once, you should see the skull, yeah? And what you could do scatter.
Yeah, if I do a minimum diameter, you'll see him.
Yeah.
There we go. But it's easier to do that with a mouse. If we do a scatter, you could do...
Yeah, that's where you like really start to see. That's like, yeah.
And then I'm going to use a texture. We're going to do color burn. So this is one where it's gonna look like a, like you can kind of see the little right there.
What I do wish is, I wish you could go back in and edit it.
Oh, the brush shape after?
Yeah.
I agree. Actually, I'm not too keen on the scatters or the angle jitter as much. I kind of like him to be a little smooth.
It would be kind of neat if you looked closer at the letters and how you have that nice wash of purple. If you looked even closer at it and like, there are skulls in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've done some human brushes, like bone brushes are fun. I've made some of those.
Yeah, we're gonna make this like a texture-y ink. So we're gonna pull that. This is how I make brushes, guys. I literally just sit here and I play with them until I like what I see.
Yeah. Oh, Victoria, hello. Good to have you here. She's amazing. We miss you around here, by the way. She's here. Do you remember Victoria?
Hi!
That's who that is. She's awesome.
Miss you!
Yeah, she's super cool.
We were at my very first one together. I still remember we had to climb. You brought us to that place with those big chairs.
Yeah, the Clift Hotel.
Yeah.
Clift Hotel.
And my weak butt couldn't get myself up there on my own.
It's a huge chair.
It really is. I was like, no one sits like Gaston. Okay, I like this because look at this nice little, it's almost like it's like an ink trail right there.
Victoria, come back, hang out with us again. We'd love to. I would think we'd love to have you back if we can get you.
She goes, I'm slacking off at work right now. Yeah. I'm slacking off the last few minutes of this. We're making a skull brush. A brush that just looks like a skull and you're up close. So we're going to save him. What should we call him? Scully Inker?
Yeah.
We're going to capture the brush size and preset. We'll include tool settings. So now I'm going to go to Edit, Preset, Preset Manager. And I'm going to locate him. This is my Scully Inker. And we're going to save him.
I like how you have your name as a brush.
Yeah. It's I can just sign it. Yeah.
Sweet. Victoria, come back. Make sure you like request me to come in that week because I want to hang out with you.
So what I'm going to do to save us time is I'm going to go to our Adobe file and that link that we shared with the assets, with the brushes, I'm just saving him directly in there so we can just share the same link out if you still have it.
Yeah, the same. Is it the same URL?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the same Dropbox one. So the little skull inker will be in there for you guys to grab.
Sweet. Yeah, Voodoo Val has that link. Molder brush.
A molder brush?
Like Fox Mulder from X-Files, I think.
Oh, because Scully.
Yeah.
So, got that. So I'm going to add in a little bit of shading into these guys, just of this like really nice light color we got going on here.
And I was wondering if the mint should be more or less places, or I'm just throwing out ideas. Like, do the eyes glow yellow? Is the mint on some of the text? Maybe not.
Are you talking about like this mint, this blue?
Yeah, that blue. I'm just throwing out ideas. I think somebody mentioned the mid color. I'm not sure. It's almost like you like save your file and then.
I think actually this might work.
I don't know.
It might work as like a highlight almost. Like if we had if we kind of just fake a fake a light that would be coming from like up here. Mm-hmm. Could probably use it as like a little highlight, and then we can drop it on top of the letters up here.
Interesting.
It might be too much.
Yeah.
This might be the one thing that just like takes it a step too far, but let's try, because we can always get rid of it.
Open to any and all suggestions. Yellow eyes and minty mouths. Hartwig, are we looking to release some software related to designing websites? We've had Adobe Muse. I don't know if the usage was really where it was at.
Ooh, I don't like yellow eyes.
Yeah, I don't either.
No.
I like, they're eerie, the fact that they're just like, there's no pupil really.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Ashley says a giant moon in the back. Like, just way back there, like a half circle. Of course, we only have 2 minutes.
Yeah. The only problem is we don't have a ton of space to work with that. But, and I have the wrong color. Back to the mint. But if we did do that, it would highlight off. It would highlight off the corners and like the tops of these guys. That may be something I play with after the stream and just kind of see what we make happen. I don't know, it's almost not showing up enough.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, it's nice. It's I don't know if it adds like a ton. I think, again, this is sort of the next level of detail I guess. I love the idea of like a half moon way in the background that's kind of large, because it's so easily like recognizable as a moon, but don't feel like you have to do any of this.
Yeah, that might be something I'd have to kind of play with, and maybe remove these guys in the background.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, but I am going to try something.
Yeah, it's flipped. All right.
Actually, no, those are we're going to do it on ghosts. Just going to see if this adds or detracts. Oh, I missed the T completely. Shame on me.
Ghosts. It's almost like one of those words where you don't even pronounce the T and you can get away with it.
There we go.
Yeah, Amanda Jean, I think you're kind of on the right track with like something like an accent color, because you have your base colors, which are these cool colors.
Yeah.
And is there like just this little pop, which is exactly what you're doing with the gold stars.
Yeah, we did try a pink, and it's just finding the right shade of pink to help it, and that this.
But you're you're in such a good spot. This is like fantastic.
Yeah, we can colorize that. We can. I think maybe that's like almost too magenta.
That's definitely it's nice lighter.
Yeah.
Like that intensity.
I feel like that almost kind of works. Maybe if we did. Let's see what this looks like. We did a.
All right.
That kind of looks nice too.
Yeah, I'm into it.
So let me make one, and we're gonna make another.
And it looks like that's the time for portfolio submissions.
Do more of a cooler pink.
That works too.
Yeah.
Looking great. You should be excited, Lucid Co, and Esther, and Amanda, and everyone.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Right on. Let's like blast off into portfolio reviews. Oh no, my coffee is floating away. Oh no, I gotta grab it. Hey, welcome. We had to look at these amazing portfolios. There we go. Maybe you can hear me better. From space. So it's good to have you here. Still, we have great internet here in space on the space station because we still have this very long Ethernet cable that goes back to the main base.
That's how we're still connected to Earth.
Yeah, that's we're tethered by an Ethernet cable.
It's the only thing keeping us tethered here
Which
in space.
is good. Yeah, I'm happy that's that way because we're able to pull up a beautiful portfolio. We can only pick a couple of them, but you can see this beautiful one right here. You might recognize it. And let me just make sure you can see this lovely work right here. Congratulations to the one and only Paul Alvarez the third, senior designer.
Anna goes, "Oh my gosh, you wonderful dorks." Love you.
So, yeah, so this is fantastic. Senior designer. I've been doing, we can check out his whole work. Just another designer, illustrator trying to inspire and, of course, get more clients, grow taller. And so I love the grow taller and solve real world problems through art. It's awesome.
A little bit in everything. Illustration, lettering, and typography. Environment branding. Would it be environmental branding or environment branding? Sorry, that's just like I'm a grammar nerd.
Truck wraps, lettuce wraps, apparel, failed backflips, and much more. I really like the injecting a little bit of personality in this. Is awesome.
I like that. There's a lot of really good humor here.
Yeah, and giving us like kind of a reason to contact you. Just tell me what keeps you motivated, some encouragement.
We're gonna hire you for failed backflips.
And I would say everything looks fantastic at first glance.
Oh, look at this. I love your sketches are really nice.
Backyard brew competition. Some of the shot down original concepts for this backyard brew competition. Yeah, really cool, huh?
Yeah.
And this is kind of where it ended up. Again, just a fun project.
It is. The only thing that I would say is some of those like thinner lines, because there's so much detail in there. If this thing gets shrunk down to like, you know, this big, like a lot of logos tend to have done to them, you are gonna lose a lot of that information. But on an illustration level, they're really good.
Yeah. I'm really digging this white outline, how it gives it this little bevel. It's super cool. I actually would want to see that like right down here. Like, I kind of want to see that in the background. So that gives it a little bit of depth. I want to see it on that yellow to, you know, you just have that highlights down here and stuff.
You could also do almost like a little offset and overlay like a screen print. Like that would work real nicely too.
Yeah, that would be way cool. I like it, the little hops, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just recognizing this as beer. I think it works because it's still like abstract, and I just take the hops.
Yeah.
And let me just make sure that was all. Okay, here we go.
Oh, there's even a time lapse.
This is fun.
I like that you include that. It's like a full case study, essentially. Very nice.
Yeah, very cool. So feel free to, oh geez.
Oh, that must have been like the inspiration and stuff for it.
Yeah, maybe. Super cool.
RBG Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
I don't know. Doesn't really say.
Yeah.
I will say I'm going to just jump in here and.
Oh yeah, they moved the appreciate buttons.
Yeah. Which other one should we take a look at?
Let's look at this peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Because I'm digging that illustration.
Belching beaver plus.
I really like the sketches.
Two tasty brews.
There's a lot of life in those. I was in Contino's workshop with Shauna. Oh yeah, John Contino's online workshop. Yeah. It was a good class.
Nice. I love this. Like, this is just fun and sloppy and awesome.
I love it.
Right? This was the marriage of the two.
Yeah, I would almost really have liked to see you, rather than doing script for this, or, you know, do script, but draw it so it looks like peanut butter and jelly has just been slammed onto the onto the page,
Yeah.
versus making it trying to make it look more like a tattoo shop.
I love it. For something so messy, his style is perfect for creating something kind of messy. Like it's messy,
Yeah.
but it's still like really clean, and that contrast like totally works.
Yeah, it's really nice. He does that etching really well.
Yeah, totally. Great work.
You have time to look at one more of his?
Yeah. Should we go to this? This is 2019. So this is a monthly newsletter.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you
RBD.
create the craft bulletin type at the top, or is this a rebrand of it? Because this, I love that.
Mm-hmm. Wow, like a lot of work going into this, right? Like look at all these
Yeah,
sketches that.
that one on the right here, far right, I love that.
Yeah.
That worked
Those are fun
so
colors.
well as an illustration.
And Paul, where are you at in these? You have to be somewhere in here, right?
Yeah. I sneak my parents' dogs into everything. I snuck our mini Yorkie into work for Prudential.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I made sure it happened, and he was blown up to like 3 feet tall.
Nice.
All made new. I think the only thing I feel that doesn't really work is that initial type at the very top, the RBD Craft Bulletin.
Yeah, I guess after seeing that such brilliant type and lockups
Yeah.
used earlier, but at the same time, I think it still kind of works. It is a bulletin. It's definitely not the hero of this. Like
Yeah.
this is the hero.
Exactly. Like East Coast, West Coast works, January 29, Volume 25 works, and I just feel like it almost feels like that very top is just a little bit of an afterthought.
Oh, there he
but-
is. He says he's on the roof. Ha ha! There he is,
Nice.
buddy. You and just like a little chicken hanging out. Great job. Just kind of being mindful of time. Yeah,
Yep.
great. Ton
Very
of work.
nice.
You're obviously very skilled at what you do.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, yeah. I love the illustrations. This style is your bread and butter.
Look at this.
These etchings, this is
Gorgeous.
I
I would have stopped here. I'd be like, I don't want to screw this up because this looks
Yeah.
great as just.
I want to see you do more of this. I realize that you're exploring typography and stuff, but find a way that it matches this. Look at maybe look at some Victorian script type or something, but like this.
Way cool.
This
Great
is
palette
nice.
too. Like that limited color palette. So cool. Oh, now we're mixing it up, but still limited color palette. So cool.
Yeah.
We get it. You're good. Following. I'm stalking you now, Paul. Look out. Love your work. We'll see if we
Yeah.
have time to revisit it, but we do need to move on. You're just exceptional, wouldn't you say?
I agree. That was a good portfolio.
Paul, you're amazing, buddy. Just amazing. So, into it. And next up, we have Lucid Co. Art Director.
Nice.
Actually, Takara Belmont. I don't know if that might be your actual name.
Yeah, we're
but-
not sure if is that your name or is that like a location?
Yeah.
Because that sounds like it could be a city, right?
Yeah, but it is from Somerset. But yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree. Following ya. Would like to know a little more. I'm sure there's a lot here, by the way. So, but we won't sweat that. We're gonna stay.
Yeah.
First of all, like very nice and clean.
Yeah, I like that there's consistency, but I would almost rather see close-ups of the work rather than mock-ups. Because I feel like
Okay.
those aren't quite as engaging. Unless you do like a straight-on mock-up of a card on like a table. But when they're sideways like that, they kind of lose their luster, and I'm not as drawn to click as I would be if it were head-on. Because especially like this magazine one.
Oh, there we go. His name's Louis Angelo.
Okay.
Takara Belmont's his job.
Nice. Okay.
Cool.
But let's start with this at the very bottom, this kid one.
I think again, just to your point, like good tight crops can be really fun for like the cover.
Yeah, I
There we
would.
go. It's your birthday.
Yeah, these are fun. I think if you're gonna show for your images, like even just this right here, that kid's birthday crop, that would work really well. But just add more, a little more color, because it looks like you've got some really fun stuff, and I want to see stuff that is gonna immediately make me want to click on things.
Yeah, very cool. I want these to be birthday cards for adults. Like, congratulations, 40-year-old birthday. Woohoo! Yay! It has like monkeys on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just playing around.
My
But great
sister
job.
got me one that had penguins on it for my 30th.
Nice.
It said, sometimes I think you're really great. Other times I just think about penguins. So.
Oh, fantastic.
Let's look at that. Let's look at this one. This one seems like it would be interesting. Yeah, this would be your the headshot.
Oh yeah. I still have no idea how you tricked Mon into choosing. Okay, I still have no idea how you tricked Mom into choosing you all those years ago. Cool. But I'm glad you did. Happy Father's Day. Okay.
Oh, that's cute.
That's what I needed to know. Father's Day card.
Yeah, that's cute. I like the I love that texture in the background to kind of make it pop out a bit.
This is not easy to do, by the way. This is tough to do. Like to have such a lockup like this.
Yeah, what I'm trying to figure
good.
out is this all hand lettered, or are these typefaces that you tweak? Let us know. Because I almost think because some of these
like
almost
this might look like type.
Yeah, which it's really hard to combine a pre-made typeface with lettering, especially if your lettering is a bit more on the crazy side. So I'd almost say like go big or go home, or don't do any at all. Like unless you can really find a good balance. I feel like it only hurts the composition if you're trying to mix in, like the very first line works, but everywhere else it feels like it's they're kind of fighting for attention.
Yeah. Good use of color.
Yeah.
I like it.
The
Color
color's
choice
really
is
nice.
great. Then we get, wait, let me just say, okay, so photography, website, so Belmont's where he works. But I think this stuff is fun because I think you shine in this area, kind of seeing this stuff.
Yeah. I like that looks like a shop window. Like, that's really nice.
You're really hard to shop for. That's awesome.
That's cute.
You needed to do that little drop shadow to kind of make it easier to read.
When you do, anytime you do white on a lighter color, you definitely need to have that depth, and that just makes it look more like it's a sticker on a window. So that works really nicely. I almost think you didn't even need to, like this, where it's you see the top of the thing. I almost think it could just be extended the whole way across, rather than you having these two triangles of green.
Yeah.
I think it would still work if you just filled the whole thing there.
Yeah, I agree. Very cool.
Very nice. That texture is really nice too. It's very subtle.
Yeah. I want to see the inside, but I guess you aren't designing the inside.
Yeah.
Like,
what is the inside supposed to say? It was, if you scroll.
Inside, so I did happy birthday.
Is that like a gift?
Yeah.
You know what would be fun is if you did something like this and you mocked it up and you actually put like a gift card pocket in there. And it would be like, so I did, and you have a gift card.
Yeah. That would be cool.
I like cards that are very sarcastic.
So this gets interesting. I think, again, just talking to Nathaniel earlier, he'd have an opinion about this. Because you have this work, and then you have like this work.
I always say, like, I'm very much of the put the work out that you want to do. And I guess I look at it more from like a freelance perspective. But at the same time, even as a creative, if you're doing art and you're putting it up there and it's not necessarily what you want to do, you're going to get hired for the stuff you don't want to do. So make sure that everything you're putting up is something that you're okay getting hired for. But also make sure that as you present it, that it all feels like a cohesive portfolio.
Yeah.
And if you have to create two different ones, create a agency life one and then create a fun life one.
Cool. This is kind of a different subject and stuff, but yeah, I think all this works great. Let's take a look at this one. This is an actual real photo. That's fascinating. We usually don't see these.
Yeah.
Usually it's like a mock-up, right? I love cropping the text, having it just run off. That's really cool.
And he cropped it in a way that it doesn't hurt the lettering either, because if you crop it just too much, it's going to be really hard to work.
Cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, into it.
And those are things too. You can take multiple shots of them and make sure that whatever background you're using doesn't detract from your actual image and your actual art. So I like to do a lot of the photography things I do if I photograph my work, I do it on a white background so that the focus is the art. And if I have to, I mock it up. You know, because sometimes like I just can't get a good photograph because I don't have the best lighting set up. And if I miss good sunlight or it's too bright or what have you, and I'm getting shadows, I will just mock it up. No one is going to know. There are hundreds of thousands of mock-ups out there for you to use. There are no dumb birthday cards.
Only stupid people to give them to. So yeah.
Ha. The one thing here I'd say that B is really hard to read.
Yeah,
It's looking like Lirth Day cards.
I'm trying to make sense of like, why is this a cable and what does it have to do with the rest of it? I'd rather almost like to see, you know, just have fun with the type, flip the B, like you did something stupid, flip it or spell it differently or whatever.
Yeah, or like do it in, like draw it so it looks like a pencil.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly, but still cool, like good execution into it.
I see that it looks like you were trying to show that you could do neon lettering.
Yeah.
In which case, I'd say mock up something different so it looks like a neon wall or something like that. But overall, nice. Like, good work.
Great work. Super fun, man. Lucid, you did great. Also, we have Paul Alvarez did a fantastic job as well. Like, no wonder he's just...
Bravo, guys.
I think Paul does an exceptional job of showing his projects.
I feel like all of his are case studies versus here's an image. And like I will say, like, that's my personal downfall in my Behance is I don't do case studies generally. I just put my work up there and because I don't like to write.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
lazy.
like you're so over the project by the time you're ready to post it. You're just ready to move on. You're like, you did that already.
I'll put the credits in if it's something for a client and then I just throw it up there. But I think if you do case studies, I think it actually really helps your process. Rocky Rourke is someone who does a ton of case studies on his portfolio. I don't know if he does it on his Behance because I don't know if he has a Behance, but on his website, he has a lot of case studies.
Yeah, case studies are good, and we've seen anytime you see the animations, which are like super fun. But yeah, great job.
Yeah,
Paul
if you can
and Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Any work you do and you put it online, if it's something that is made as a product for something, show it in context. So if you made a greeting card, don't just show the art, show it mocked up as a greeting card, printed as a greeting card, what have you. If it's a board game, make sure you take shots of the board game rather than just putting up pictures, because the more you can show something as a physical object or, you know, it's physically out there, the more impact it's going to have. And if that means, you know, if you do something for a client and you know that they took professional shots, reach out to that client and say, can I get access to these shots for my portfolio?
Yeah. This is just another Paul Alvarez, you know, sort of recording the screen in Illustrator. Super cool. Great job.
Very nice,
Everybody
guys.
did a great job. So jealous. Look at this. There's some mock-ups, shirts. Yeah, I would wear that. I would wear this design. I just think it looks sweet.
Remember last night I was telling you that style, or was it yesterday or the night before? So we were all talking about like styles of lettering that are coming back, and I said that 90s chrome style is making a comeback.
Reminds me a lot of what's his name? White. Oh, what's his last name? Signal Noise.
Oh, James?
Yeah, James White.
Yeah.
So very cool. First of all, I did try to do some of this, and it was for 90s, and they were like, yeah, that's a little 80s. They thought it was like a little 80s. But either way, this retro type. you know, which like that just shows a lot of flexibility. Yeah.
Weird.
You guys are awesome.
Just realized my computer shut off. Sorry. Hang on.
Can we switch to your screen so we can see you enter your password? Just kidding. We won't do that.
It's like telling me I'm too close. There we go.
So hopefully that's helpful, by the way. Like, even this, like, this is, of course, awesome.
Yeah, I really like how this is turned out. And this, I'll more than likely, when I do put it up on my Behance, I'll mock it up so that's in a frame, so it's not just the art.
Cool.
Yeah, and actually, if you want to, like, since this is basically done. If you want to show on, like, my Behance, we can show a couple instances where I did mock things up so that you can see them in context.
Perfect. Totally.
I feel like that's a good way to end it out.
You got it. Boop.
Yeah, because I think that would be, so if you scroll, if like the greeting card is a mock-up, the cup is a mock-up. Cup template is by Mr. Mockup. And then you can see how it was drawn. So if I'd posted only just that image, it would not have had the same impact if I did not have these mock-ups on there. It would have just looked like a banner, but this way you can see it in context. And then in that mock-up, I went and I colorized the lid so that it matched what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, way cool.
Adobe stock was used in the Skaters Please Sign In one. And that one I colorized the skates because the skates in there were white.
Oh, okay, nice.
And I'm like 90% sure that's a little boy, so I wanted him to have black skates because that's just traditional.
Yeah. Super cool. And that's a sign for a rink?
Yeah, that's an ice rink in Florida that I do work for. We wanted kids to sign in when they got to class so that we didn't have to try and take role when they were on the ice and we were trying to coach.
Nice.
If you keep going, there's a, it is the, keep going, that imagination one, very top middle. I did this one on Adobe Live, and this one I ended up animating, so I redrew this 3 times. So each one has a little bit different variation to it. So so I think if you scroll, you see the animation.
No, nice.
And that was just done in Photoshop. And then I think on this same one, you can see them set up as, mocked up in context.
Very cool. That's fun. That's fun watching it dance.
Yeah,
really cool.
when you do those, you have to do at least 3. Because if you do just 2, it just goes do 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 do, and it doesn't work. It doesn't give that same feeling. Mm-hmm. But if you do 3, it feels like it's got some life to it.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I like what you did here because you're like, I have a lot of text. It's gonna be white. Mm-hmm. I need to have the text has to be more interesting. Just with scribbles, for instance. Yeah. Which are awesome. Yeah. You know, kind of like what you did today, like adding more to that type since there's like so many lines of it.
And it took a long time to do because it's a lot of words.
Yeah.
But it worked out really well.
Very cool. I'm just getting lost in these now.
This is why I like putting my, like I try to make the main images as impactful as possible.
That's like, this is really gorgeous too.
Yeah.
Really into it. So check out Shauna's work. You can click the info tab and follow her stuff. Stalk her on really all the social medias if that's okay.
Oh yeah.
Shauna Parmesan. Shauna Lynn Panczyszyn. She's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. I always have a great time.
Yay. Good. And thank you for this. She's the best to have here because she also brings you coffee. So you are wonderful on so many levels.
I had my Citrus Defender today ready to go, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Citrus Defender.
Citrus Defender. It's a good drink, just trust me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks, Val, for
Yeah.
helping out, and everybody. Thank you for submitting your portfolios. Hang out with us. Actually, join us tomorrow for a little XD with Talon, and then also next week is all UI, UX as well. So get involved, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you guys so much for joining in and for coming and supporting us this week.
Yay. Thank you, everybody.